something happened with the AV problems or some kind of damn thing, and so they couldn't play the Star Spangled Banner. And once again, Tony Gilliam was the ring announcer, and Gilliam now is the announcer for the Hurricanes, and he does the announcing in the Dean Dome for Tar Heels. And so I said, hey, Tony, why don't you let me get in the ring and sing the national anthem? And Tony Gilliam looked at me, and he was like, there is no way. I said, come on, Tony, I can do it. Oh, say, can you see? And he's like, no, I'm not going to. And so they just said, put their hand over the heart. Everybody said the Pledge of Allegiance, and that's how they started the show. And Tony comes down, and I said, Tony, it was my birthday. I could have done that. I could have knocked it out of the park. And I think I probably could have faked my way through it. Anyway, and Gilliam looks at me and he goes, if I let you get your big ass in that ring, they would fire me. There's no way they would allow me to ever let you do something like that. And so when the show was over, he went, ladies and gentlemen, the winner is blah, blah. Happy birthday, John. And then walked off. So, you know, there was a lot of play back and forth between the wrestlers and the announcers and us. You know, it's kind of gone now, that whole thing, but there was a lot of stuff going on. You know, Jackie Crockett was the ringside camera guy, and he was part of the legendary Crockett family. And his job was he was the camera guy, and he always seemed to get us on camera all the time because we had all the posters and we were stirring up trouble and we were really cheering for the bad guys and trying to get some action, get some heat going on in the crowd, and we loved the attention and we had a good time with it. Well, anyway, it was at one pay-per-view, and I can't remember which one it was, but they had the first match was like some masked guy versus Nelson Royal. And we'd seen Nelson Royal wrestle for 30 years. And, you know, I mean, once you've seen him, you've seen them all. And so I was sitting there, and for some reason, I had the Sunday newspaper. So I handed the Sunday newspaper out to everybody, and I said, this match sucks so bad. What we need to do is we need to read the newspaper during the match. So the whole section was holding up newspapers, reading newspapers during this opening match. And Jackie Crockett popped his cork and started screaming at us. He walked over to me and he says, you know the game, you know the deal. We have to warm the crowd up. This is the match to kind of educate, warm the crowd up. And you're totally screwing up my show. You're screwing up my show. You know, I'm never going to put you on television again. And I'm like you went out of your way to do it. You had, you know. Yeah, so Jackie Crockett starts screaming at us, and I'm like, come on, man, this match sucks so bad. You know, we're just trying to liven it up. He's like, I'm never going to put your ass on television again. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, great. And so what happened was the Crockett's sell the promotion to Ted Turner, and they start up WCW, and so they have the first big match in Greensboro is the first Clash of Champions. And the first Clash of Champions, we got all geared up because it was a really cool idea because what the Crockett's did was they had a free live television show for 2 hours or 2 or 3 hours. And they ran it against the WWE pay-per-views. So they were trying to hurt their audience by putting on a really good live show. And that was the famous show that had Sting against Flair and made Sting into a big star. That was the night they did that. They had special judges. One of them was Eddie Haskell, which was really cool because Ken Osmond walked by and we started to chant, Eddie, Eddie, and he led us in a chant and high-fived us and everything. He was really nice. So anyway, so the opening of the show, one of the matches was Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane versus the Fantastics. And so what we did is we spent a day or so and we spelled out Cornette across the front row in these big giant letters that said Cornette. And so they, Cornette's in the ring, he's sitting there, and we held up the signs and we started chanting Cornett Rules, Cornett Rules. And Cornette, who I'd never met at the time, just popped like crazy. He was like, "Oh man, that's great, that's great." So he walks over to the floor director and he says, "Look, how long is our commercial break?" And they told him what, it's like 5 minutes or 3 minutes or something. And he goes, okay. And he walks over and leads to the ring. He goes, "Hey guys, I love the signs. I tell you what I'm going to do. You guys take a break and I'll give you a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll point to you. You guys start chanting. We'll get it on TV and we'll run this thing." And we're like, "Yeah, okay, Jimmy, whatever you want. That's great." So we're sitting there and sure enough, as soon as we're holding these signs up, the floor director comes running up to Jackie Crockett and he goes, "Get that on camera. Get that on camera." And Jackie Crockett the show just a couple shows before said, "I'm never putting your ass on TV." And there's Jackie Crockett being ordered to take a picture. So Crockett's sitting there like this, and we're chanting Cornett Rules, and Jimmy goes gives us the countdown, and we're counting Cornett Rules, and Jackie Crockett's filming it, and he's going, "You sons of bitches! I can't believe I'm having to do this." And he was so hot, and we're sitting there laughing at him, going, "Cornett Rules." Anyway, that was one of those things that was like little comeback miracle kind of thing that would happen. But Cornett loved it so much, he did a greatest hits of the Midnight Express, and then what he did is he put that as the opening of his video, is us spelling out Cornett on the front row cheering for him. We're all in coats and ties except for Colson, who of course never wore a coat and tie because he probably couldn't find one that fit his fat ass. Anyway, another Greensboro story.
Okay,